Seth Stokes here, 106.3 WORD News with Taryn Scher she does PR work for VisitGreenvilleSC, and our cover story this week is about why Greenville in the upstate is one of the top vacation destinations in America right now, and what makes it like that. And Taryn, thank you so much for taking some time to meet with me today and
My
to talk
pleasure.
up Greenville SC a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, it didn't happen by accident. You know, I think a lot of people do think, wow, everybody knows about us now. It just falls out of the sky. And there has been a very concerted effort over the last really 4 years to promote Greenville among leisure travel seekers, right? So prior to 2013, Greenville wasn't even in the consideration set. We weren't coming to the table and saying, hey, if you're thinking about going to Charleston for the weekend or you're thinking about going to Asheville, why don't you think about Greenville? We weren't even playing in that game. And this that Greenville idea was hatched. And to start the conversation, we started doing a lot more proactive outreach to the leisure traveler, both within kind of a 60-mile radius and certainly beyond that, and saying, hey, think about coming to Greenville for the weekend instead. And that's really how this has kind of all come about.
So, obviously getting the word out that, hey, Greenville is here, you should come visit. That's a huge deal. But as far as what has taken place since 2013 within the city that really makes it attractive? What were some of those first steps?
Well, it's interesting because, and I tell people this a lot, it's not so much what we've done to attract the leisure tourist. It's more really what the city did to make the quality of life for the people who live here incredible. And those are also great pieces for a tourist to enjoy as well. But you have great amenities like our park system and the zoo and the museums and all of the great free concerts that go on Main Street downtown every weekend, and some of the great festivals that happen. Those weren't built to attract tourists. Those were built for the people who live here to enjoy their life. But as a result, we're finding out that that's a really big reason for tourists to want to come and enjoy Greenville for a few days or for a full week as well. And so it all kind of plays together really nicely once we figured out, hey, there's a whole market out there of people who might want to come visit Greenville as well and take advantage of all the amenities that we have.
So what, in your opinion, would you say is maybe the most marketable aspect of Greenville?
Certainly, it's the unknown, right? So you're choosing a vacation destination, you're picking a beach maybe, or you're picking a ski destination. We don't have those things. So when you come to Greenville, you're coming with pretty low expectations because you don't really know what you're coming for it is. And then you get here and we call it the surprise and delight factor, right? Everywhere you turn, there's something, wow, I didn't know about that. Hey, let's go check that out. And that's sort of where the that Greenville came from as well. But there are so many that experiences to happen while you're in Greenville, and none of which you necessarily came here thinking about. And that's what's the great part. You leave here going, I can't believe there was all that to do. I wish I had 3 more days, because you came here not really thinking there was going to be that much to do. Maybe you came for the first time on business or to visit friends or family, and you were thinking, I don't know what we're really going to do while we're in Greenville. And you left here thinking, I wish we had 3 more days to go experience some more. That's the great part. There are so many different things to do. And depending on what you're into, if it's the outdoors, if it's the food, if it's family friendly, if it's on a budget, there's something for everyone here. And it's not just one thing for everyone. There are dozens of things that you can do depending on which area you're interested in.
When you're talking to people that are coming from out of town, or you're talking to other media members that are doing something special about Greenville, what is kind of their reaction to the town when they come to visit?
I can't believe this was all here. I mean, we hear it over and over and over again. People are absolutely shocked. They can't fathom that a city that's the size of Greenville has all of this jam-packed into it, and it's not in New York and Atlanta, Chicago. It's not on the radar screen like that. It's this small southern town that still, to be honest, most people haven't heard of yet, and we have all this going on here. They can't believe it, and they're constantly saying, how does everyone not know about this yet? You know, well, we're trying.
Now, I know I was talking to a friend of mine from Atlanta yesterday, actually, and he was asking me how I like Greenville, and I was telling him about it. And he said it is just, you know, a perfectly southern town, and it's, you know, it's very fun, and it's very clean, and it's a nice place to go. And when you hear Greenville, South Carolina, when you go out and about, kind of what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
My heart starts to beat when I think about Greenville. So I personally moved here 10 years ago, and I still to this day remember that experience of coming off 385 into downtown and turning left at the Hyatt and you were just on Main Street and the lights were twinkling and it was July. It's, 365 days a year. You've got treetops that are lit up in lights and you've got the horse-drawn carriage going down Main Street, and you actually think you're in a fairy tale. I mean, it just is this beautiful, almost unrealistic place, but it actually is real, and we get to take part in it all the time. I mean, I really do get this love affection for Greenville every time I get the chance to think about it or talk about it to other people. And I think what's happening is people are now visiting and taking that same experience home with them, and that's why we're not only seeing people who are coming back and bringing more people with them, but we're seeing people who have visited once or twice actually turn around and uproot their lives and move here now because they just love it so much and they want to be part of it.
So when people ask you, what should we do when we come to Greenville? What is your number one answer?
That's a hard question. That's a really loaded question. I mean, the first thing is, what do you love? Do you love food? Do you love the outdoors? Are you coming with kids? Then it's a variety of different routes from there. If you had one thing to do in Greenville, I tell everybody you must go to Falls Park and you must just walk on the bridge, and just look out, because it really is an awe-inspiring experience. There's nowhere else in the world that you can do anything like that. I mean, and the fact that those are natural waterfalls that we have that people didn't even know were there 30 years ago. It's not like somebody came in and said, okay, we're going to build a waterfall downtown Greenville. Those are real waterfalls. I mean, that's just a beautiful experience that I think anybody should have. On top of that, we've got some great tours that you can do and really unique experiences. I think that all kind of plays into a bigger picture depending on what you're interested in. If you're interested in the food scene or the growing craft beer scene, whatever it may be, there's something for everyone here, that's for sure.
What has been the biggest change in the past 10 years? Greenville was great to begin with, obviously, and that's what attracted people to begin with. But since you've been here, what has been the thing that has maybe morphed the most?
Sure. Certainly for me, obviously Main Street is so much busier now than it was. But even Saturday night, I was at dinner and looking out, and I watched a Segway tour go by. There had to have been 8 people on Segways. And since we started doing this, when we first started promoting Greenville, and bringing people in, there weren't tours. There weren't like actual tours that you could sign up and do. And now, like I said, we've got the Segway tour, you've got culinary tours, you have history tours, you have a beer tour, there are bike tours, there are so many actual organized experiences for travelers to come in and do, or even people who live here to take advantage of on the weekend and learn something that you didn't already know. That to me is a sign of a true destination. That's the first thing you look at when you go to another big city is, what tour can I sign up to do to go learn about the history or the culture of an area? And the fact that we have those now is a dramatic change. That means we've all kind of shifted our mindset and realized we are a tourist destination. We can certainly take advantage of this. And some smart folks have kind of stepped up to the plate and started offering these great tours.
For anybody that wants to come to visit, and for anybody that lives here and just may not be 100% aware of everything that's going on within Greenville, where can they go online to kind of figure out what all's happening?
There's 2 great places. Number one, obviously, is www.VisitGreenvilleSC.com. We do a great job of curating just about everything there is to do in Greenville, and we do it by category, like I mentioned. So you can go online, and if you're into cycling, you can pull up how to spend the day cycling or doing all kinds of cycling-related activities. If you're into coffee, you can even pull up a thread just to go experience all the cool coffee shops in Greenville. You can do it a variety of ways that way. The other thing I think you should do is just check out the hashtag #YeahThatGreenville, because what's happened since we introduced that, so VisitGreenvilleSC introduced that as kind of part of our brand, but the community has embraced that. And not only just the community, but people who are visiting for a couple of days have embraced it. So everybody is now using their own iteration of that hashtag and tagging the things that they like, that they experienced while they were here. And that's a great place to start too, kind of crowdsourcing, right? So find out what other people are seeing, exploring, doing, hearing, talking about. That's a great way to find it. You'll find thousands, literally tens, hundreds of thousands of posts at this point. The hashtag on Instagram, I think, has been used close to 500,000 times at this point. So you're going to find plenty of ideas and things to do, and just ask friends, ask around. People love to talk about their own favorite thing. That's how we came up with this idea. Yeah, that Greenville. Oh, that coffee bar. Oh, that place to go to listen to live music, that museum. So ask people on the street. That's the great thing about Greenville too. People are so friendly. If you stop somebody on the street, they will talk to you for 20 minutes and tell you about their favorite place to go buy shoes and where to go get your hair cut and where you should go for dinner and who has the best shrimp and grits. So just talk to people. Ask people where they like to go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Taryn, for taking some time to talk to me about Greenville, and hope to see you again soon.
My pleasure.
Seth Stokes, 106.3 WORD News.